In today's Leeds news, final international roundup, National League Cup semi-final, Abdelli on Leeds radar, Rangers midfielder linked, doubts creeping in at Leeds, Piroe refuses call-up, and season ticket renewal updates. Morning folks, Jer here at The View with your Leeds United news for Wednesday morning, the 26th of March. Hope you're having a good week so far. It's a weird one today. There is some transfer rumour stuff. Yes, there's rumours, there's transfer rumours there in the middle of the video, but I'll give you the news. You can decide yourself whether you believe them or not. I've tried to make sure there is from as credible as normal sources, but you know the deal. Pinch of salt with pretty much everything at this stage, but some interesting theories starting to line up, but we'll get to them in due course. We'll start off though today with the international roundup, as we are finally done with the international break and we can now focus on the run-in for the season. People asking me why I've got a problem with international breaks. I don't. I've got a problem with an international break in March when you've got 8 games left in the season. It's the only issue I've got with international breaks. But we'll move on and we'll start with Junior Firpo, who did finally play for the Dominican Republic last night at midnight, and he played 90 minutes and scored the second goal in the Dominican Republic's 2-0 win over Puerto Rico in Santiago. So well done to Firpo and well done to them. He continues his goal scoring form. Let's hope he gets back all okay and fine. Carl Darlow, Joe Rodon and Daniel James all played for the Welsh side in their 1-1 draw with Gianni Alioski's North Macedonian side. James, however, did come off in the 64th minute. No injury, no worries, just resting him up. So all good there. Carl Darlow, very good game in goal as well, and Joe Rodon playing the 90 minutes as well and having a really, really solid game from him as well. And then Charlie Crew captained the Welsh under-19 side to a 3-1 win against Turkey in their European qualifiers that took place yesterday as well. So well done to all the international players. We're done, we're dusted, get home, get back safe, make sure you're all okay, and we'll hear from Daniel Farke later on this week about the fallout, I suppose, from the international break. Make sure everyone is okay. But let's move on. Let's talk about under 21s for a second. And Leeds United under 21s are in the new National League Cup this season and have progressed to the semi-final and have a really strong chance of picking up some silverware this year. Tickets for the semi-final are now on sale for the game Altrincham FC, and you can get them via the Leeds United website. The game will take place on the 1st of April and is a 7:30pm kickoff. Adults tickets are £8, while concessions are £5 for anyone interested in checking out the under-21s in their semi-final clash against Altrincham. Let's move on. Let's talk about some transfer rumours now. They're very much rumours, but what seems to be apparent is two very clear, distinctive lists of potential players seem to be appearing. We've got these players who are very much of a championship level and appear to be on a list of players should Leeds miss out on promotion this season. And then there is a further list of players that appear to be of Premier League level should Leeds get promoted to the Premier League. But one story that's come out this morning, and this is coming from relatively loose reports, but I'll give you the detail and you can decide yourself whether you think this is legitimate or not. But according to these reports this morning, Algerian attacking midfielder Hamad Abdelli is being considered as an option for Leeds United in the attacking midfield area. Last August, Abdelli was mentioned with Leeds United as a possible transfer, but he stayed at the time at French side Angers. This season, the attacking midfielder has scored 6 goals and has 1 assist in Ligue 1, but Angers are having a pretty tough season, sitting 14th place in the league, and that's only 2 spots above the relegation zone. The report says that the Algerian international has attracted significant interest from Leeds United and Italian sides Como and Lecce, with French side Olympique Nice also said to be keeping an eye on the midfielder. Abdelli's contract expires at the end of the 2025-26 season, so 1 year left on his contract, and really does kind of fall in what the Leeds United transfer strategy has been over the last couple of windows, where it's set to go after players with limited time left on their contract in order to try and get a discounted fee. On the player's salary, though, he's on a pretty modest salary when it comes to footballers, or professional footballers, I should say. He's only on €30,000 per week. I say €30,000 per week. We bite your hand off for that, the rest of us. But it is a very low salary, so if Leeds were to go after the player, he wouldn't exactly break the bank. And if he's a good player or an option there, you never know. But it is coming from relatively weak enough reports, but not uncredible ones. They've got a couple of things right, but we'll have to see how that one pans out. But we'll talk about another midfielder, another transfer rumour that's popped up today, and according to reports from Team Talk, so this is massive, just pinch of salt therapy with Team Talk, you know the deal, but according to them this morning, they said that there is interest from Leeds in Rangers midfielder Nicholas Raskin. Raskin has had a very, very strong season for Glasgow Rangers this season in Scotland, but more so in Europe, and his European performances are what is attracting interest from not just England, but from across into the continent as well. Aston Villa are labelled as the club in the Premier League who are said to have pretty strong interest in the midfielder, but clubs in Germany and Italy have also been linked with a move for Raskin. The report says that the involvement of the 49ers in this could be a factor if the takeover goes through as planned before the start of next season. It's still unclear whether it's the 49ers Enterprises as a minority stakeholder in this deal with Andrew Kavanagh, or whether it's just Parag Marathe who's involved with Andrew Kavanagh. We'll have to wait and see when that one comes out in the wash. But the report does say that Raskin is only an option for Leeds United should they get promoted to the Premier League this season, and if they stay in the Championship, that won't be happening. There will be likely interest in that player in the Premier League. He's been labelled as the best midfielder in Scotland this season, Raskin, and he has had some very, very strong performances, as I say, specifically during their European campaign, so one to keep an eye on there. Wouldn't be a bad midfielder to bring in at all. Moving on, let's talk about some reports leading into the weekend's game against Swansea, and everyone is starting to voice their opinions on the run-in, and a big weekend of football is ahead for football fans as Leeds will welcome Swansea City to Elland Road. Last time we played them was in November in the game that finished 4-3 in a crazy game of football over in Wales. But Leeds promotion rivals Burnley will also kick off on Saturday. They will host Bristol City, and Sheffield United kick off on Friday night and they will host Frank Lampard's Coventry City. Bristol City have already taken points off of Leeds and Sheffield United this season, so could do the same against Burnley. And Coventry City are on a very, very strong run of form. Their only defeat in their latest run of games coming at the hands of Leeds United. Sky pundit Joby McAnuff expects Leeds United to kick on after what was being labelled as a mini wobble before the international break. But speaking to the Essential EFL podcast, McAnuff says there are starting to be a few doubts creeping in around the place, and we've seen this before, and he said the following: there are some doubts starting to creep in that shouldn't be there. There is a lot more anxiety around Leeds than there should be at this stage. We do know down the stretch sometimes Leeds have had issues in the past, so I'm not as confident as I was after the Sheffield United game that Leeds are going to get the job done. McAnuff's comments will likely echo a large portion of the fan base's worries and anxieties right now about promotion. As we've all said before, we've seen this story and we know how it goes. Last season, Leeds United came out of the international break sitting top of the table and fell away and ended up finishing third and missing out on promotion. We hope that this season Leeds United have learned the lessons of the past and can hold their nerve in this run-in to get the job done and get over the line. Daniel Farke's press conference is tomorrow, Thursday at 1pm. And we'll get a chance to hear what his feelings are around the little wobble before the international break and where we are coming out of that, as well as an injury update on the likes of Willie Gnonto, as well as the other international players who've been away and are returning to the club. We'll talk about a player that did stay at the club during this international break and did have conversations around going off and playing some international football himself, and this came out yesterday via the Yorkshire Evening Post about a possible Joel Piroe international call-up. According to the YEP, Joel Piroe turned down his first ever international call-up to the Suriname national side in order to focus on Leeds United's promotion campaign. The Dutch striker is eligible for the Caribbean side through his parents, but chose to turn down the opportunity in order to help Leeds to get promoted to the Premier League. Piroe has said that his dream is to play in the Premier League and he wants to help Leeds to get that job done and get back to the top flight. Whether Piroe would have turned down a call-up to the Dutch national side remains to be seen. That's a different question. But this is definitely a positive at this stage of the season for Leeds United, that a top goal scorer has decided to stay and get a bit of a rest and get focused on what is at hand. But Piroe said the following on the situation: I'm not closing the door to the Dutch national team, but at the moment I do not know what I would like most. It's an honour for both. So two nationality opportunities there, Suriname and the Netherlands, similar to what Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had when he was at Leeds United as well. But Piroe is one of the few players who may actually benefit from this mini break in his season, and we can hope he can find his scoring boots again against his former side this Saturday. Piroe also spoke about the possibility of leaving the door open for a return to PSV Eindhoven in his future career, as what he says is unfinished business at the Dutch side, but very much will happen when his Leeds time is done. And then moving on to the final story of the day, and this one relates to the season ticket updates. And Leeds are normally at this stage well into the communication and activation of season ticket renewals, but so far this year we've not heard anything from the club, at least not yet. Leeds' uncertainty around what division they will be in next season is the likely cause for this delay, but there are other reasons that have been communicated around the possibility of this delay. Last season, Leeds' season ticket renewal deadline was the April 8th. The season before that, it was April 7th, and there's not a huge amount of time between now and those two dates should Leeds announce the same range now. A question has been asked to the club via the LUFC Trust, and they shared the response from the club via X when they asked what the situation was regarding when communication on the matter might go out, and it read as follows. Yes, they said it's because of the 80% attendance rule. We had a meeting with the club last Monday to pass on members' feedback on pricing, etc. We are awaiting an outcome. Last season, Leeds introduced a new rule that basically stated that a season ticket holder must attend 80% of the games in order to have their season ticket renewed. Now, you didn't have to go and attend all those games personally. As long as you used the club's different levers for using your season ticket, that was okay and will be included. So if you used the ticket forwarding scheme, that classified as attendance, and if you used the ticket exchange to sell on your ticket, that was also used as part of this rule as well. So that would all be bracketed in to your 80%. But the 80% rule means that more checks and balances are needed in this before the club can move forward with this, and it's taking slightly longer than fans would have hoped or anticipated. It's an expensive outlay for anybody to go and watch football, season tickets, so giving fans the most amount of time they have to get this kind of money ready would be beneficial to everyone that goes to these games and is a season ticket holder. But right now, no communication from the club. The 80% rule is the likely cause of the delay, as well as Leeds not really knowing what division they will be in next season. Another factor in that. But yeah, plenty to go, folks. If you want some more content, last night myself, Ben Locke, Paul from Leeds Therapy and Jerry McNamee had a little look at the run-in and how we feel Leeds will get on. You can check that out on the channel if you want it, or yesterday's news is down below for you to check out. I will be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news, and then a preview tomorrow evening ahead of the game against Swansea. We'll talk to you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.